Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. My name is Joey. At UFC 263 on Saturday night, we got a new flyweight champion, Brandon Moreno. He defeated Deiveson Figueiredo in a fight that a lot of people did not have him winning, myself included. I just factored, the 3 week notice and the food poisoning supposedly that Deiveson had and the performance he had in the first fight, and I just really thought he would be, the more powerful guy, be able to walk through Brandon Moreno's shots and eventually finish him. Uh, and he shocked a lot of people on Saturday night when Brandon Moreno really just outclassed him, won every second of the fight, and then eventually finished him by rear naked choke in the third round. And Brandon Moreno, how can you not be happy for the guy? He seems like the nicest guy in the world. Look how happy he was to win the title, to go in there against a killer like Deiveson Figueiredo and put on a performance like that is just, that's exactly why I watch the sport. I mean, that was just something to behold. He drops him in the first round with a jab. He's able to take him down. He just dominated him for 3 rounds. I don't care anybody who picked Brandon Moreno to win the fight. That's an awesome pick. But there's nobody out there that I believe thought Brandon Moreno would go in there and dominate Deiveson like he did. And I just can't believe it. And I think myself, I said, Deiveson, took the title defense, back to back UFC. I think it was 255 and 256. It was 3 weeks notice. Same thing for Brandon Moreno. And I just thought the weight cut for Deiveson Figueiredo was going to be too much, or played too much of a factor in that initial fight between the two guys. And I guess, when you really think about it, Brandon Moreno didn't get much time. We think about it from Deiveson's standpoint, but you don't think about it. Brandon Moreno got 3 weeks to prepare for a killer like Figueroa. And he went out there and put on a performance good enough to get him a draw in that original fight. And, now he had a full camp, even more time to recover after that fight, full 6 months to prepare for Figueroa. And look at the performance he went out there and put on Figueroa. And I made this video because I believe that Deiveson Figueiredo's career is basically over at this point. Because what Brandon Moreno did to him, unless there's some crazy reason that Deiveson was so awful on Saturday night, I don't see how he can rebound from this loss. I don't see him ever beating Brandon Moreno. Uh, Unless he comes out and he says, "Oh, I had this crazy injury" or whatever. And then again, I'd still be leery to even believe it or, take it into account. I just don't see. The only excuse for Figueroa is a tough weight cut. And if that's the case, then that means he has to move up to bantamweight. But even if he stays at flyweight, is anybody going to pick him in the trilogy against Brandon Moreno? And does anybody even want to see the trilogy against Brandon Moreno? Because I certainly don't at this point. I want to see Brandon Moreno defend his flyweight belt against Askar Askarov. They've already fought early in their career to a draw, matter of fact. And I would like to see them fight again. And at this point, Deiveson's this big guy. He's this powerful guy. But if Brandon Moreno can take you down, my guess is Askar Askarov can take you down as well. So I don't favor Figueroa against either one of those guys. And, you got to love Brandon Moreno's story. He fought in the UFC before, but lost 2 fights, I think it was, got cut by the UFC. Won a fight, got re-signed by the UFC. I think they cut him when they were thinking about getting rid of the flyweight division. But then this guy comes back and wins the flyweight belt. But if you look at a path forward for Figueroa, I think he mentioned moving up to 135. And I think that's pretty much the only path for him right now. But I hate to say it, but he's not going to do much at 135. 135 is probably the best division in all of the UFC. And, you guys tell me, who is Figueroa beating at 135? Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, Rob Font, Jose Aldo, maybe Cody Garbrandt? Uh, Bantamweight is just absolutely stacked from top to bottom. And I hate to say it, but if Brandon Moreno is able to take Deiveson down and control him on the ground, what is number 10, Mirab Davishvili, going to do to Figueroa? He's going to be able to take him down and hold him down. So there's a potential at 135 that Figueroa isn't even in the top 10, which is crazy. And Figueroa's main strength at flyweight was his size and his power. He was draining his body to have the size advantage on fight night. And he's not going to have that at 135. So I don't know what the path forward for Figueroa is. I don't know who he fights next. If his body can't cut the weight and stay at flyweight, I guess he's got to go move to bantamweight, but it's not going to work out well for him there. I mean, Imagine what Aljamain Sterling would do to him grappling-wise. Imagine what Peter Yan would do to him grappling-wise. Peter Yan's better than Aljamain Sterling. And Aljamain Sterling is an amazing wrestler and grappler and just overall jiu-jitsu guy. So I really have no idea what Deiveson does from here. And I think Brandon Moreno, with winning the flyweight belt at UFC 263, I think he essentially ended Deiveson's career. And that's crazy. And maybe not his career, maybe just his UFC career. But I'll tell you this right now, and it could come back to bite me. I have no idea. I could be dead wrong. I don't ever see Figueiredo with a UFC championship around his waist ever again. And it's sad to say because he was such a fun champion. The guy was just always out there looking for the kill. But on Saturday night, he showed me absolutely nothing. Moreno just outclassed him in every aspect of the fight. And I just don't see how he can recover from that. And maybe I'm wrong. And also, I hate to say this too. We see this, I feel like, with a lot of the Brazilian fighters. I mean, look at Renan Barão. He lost to TJ Dillashaw, and it was like he could never, make any adjustments or improve in certain areas to be able to come back and make a change. Jose Aldo, as great as he is, it seems like he's kind of been stagnating for years and years, He fought Max twice, same outcome, And maybe that's not the case, and I don't know, even if they're training at the same camps, I don't even think they are. But I think Figueiredo has to make vast improvements if he ever wants to be a UFC champion again. And I just don't think it's possible. So I thought I'd make this video. I thought that was a very interesting take from UFC 263. Guys, do me a favor if you haven't already. Make sure to like the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Let me say something. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, and maybe not the next month. But only one thing is true. I will be champion one day. I promise. I promise.
Brandon Moreno, ladies and gentlemen.